You want to be an architect?
Maybe a truck driver?
Maybe a realtor?
Something in the medical field?
Huh. Listen to Career Paths with Unedited.
Thursdays.
Nothing incriminating.
No, that's not good.
Well, unless there's something incriminating that you have.
Put it in your mind.
And I know I keep smacking him. I'm so tired of him.
Killing me.
You're welcome.
Killing me.
It's my job. Killing you softly with. You're welcome. There's old music reference.
You're good.
Thank you. I know. Okay, let me adjust. And go. Welcome to Career Paths by Infonet. I'm your host, Victor Boudreau. Behind the scenes, operating camera and such and stuff, Mr. Ryan King. Say hello, Ryan.
Hello.
Oh, that's nice. You actually followed. You're learning. Today, our guest, Walter Thomas. Walter, what do you do for a career? What have you done for a career lately? Or in the last several years? Apparently 8-ish that you've pre-show.
Besides playing arena football and moving state to state, just trying to, create a business for myself. And,
That's right, right.
And
What's the name of the brand that you're doing? What are you doing?
it's a Grind Hard apparel. It's Grind Hard / self-made apparel. Grind Hard is mostly for, the workout.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a workout brand. The shirts are different from the self-made shirts. Like the shirts are more stretchier.
Okay.
They don't last a little bit longer from sweat and being beat up.
And you have some experience with that.
Yeah, exactly. So I know what you would
sure.
rather have on the workout end. And, self-made is more of just, I call it a street brand, just for like everyday wear. You might want to wear it to a bar, or, and it's more of like positive logos, just things to keep people pushing, like as if they want to have their own business. It's just quotes and words of encouragement, inspiring people.
Let's try to do, well, we try to do that, but yeah, to make a difference in someone's life.
Yeah.
So, how's life in general? The team, the Spokane Shocker you're going to be playing with this year, the season is a couple months away, and hopefully it'll happen. So, how's life ever, not knowing that at this point?
We just trying to stay prepared. It has this ups and downs when you just don't know the way COVID is. Like, we can get a call at any moment, and they say, "Oh, it's not happening." So, it's you just gotta. It's hard trying to push yourself by yourself. So having a few guys around.
You have a couple other players that are on the team that are in town now?
Yeah, I've been here since March, since we started last camp.
Oh, yeah. Then everything got shut down.
We have Jonah. He's one of our
Jonah
offensive
Austin?
lines. Yeah, he lives up the street from me.
I do know Jonah.
Yeah, got a house up here. Bill has been around. Charles McCullough, the quarterback, he just got back in town this week.
I've heard, I briefly met him last year pre-event, but I didn't get to watch, obviously, and I'm excited to just get to know him. I heard he's
real
pretty
deal.
good.
I've been with him since day one, and we was just having a story to talk the other day. We was at Jonah's house, and we was just kind of hanging out, and he was telling him, like, yeah, when Walt first met me, he didn't like me. And I was like, nah, I ain't have nothing against you. I was in game mode, and we had just lost our quarterback. Because I knew him prior to him coming into the team, because we played against him the year before. And he stayed and hung out with us instead of flying back with his team, because he liked us so much. So Billy was like, what do you think about Charles? And I was like, yeah, call him up, He beat us. Why not? So when he got there, I didn't really hang out with him when all the other guys did, because I had my own house, so I was living like an hour away. I would drive back and forth. And he was like my roommate, and I was like, I just want to wait and see how you play, before I get it all excited and get to shaking your hand.
Earn the respect.
And we was playing, I can't remember who he was playing, and just just watching him play. And he was just, me and Billy looked at each other like, we won a championship. And we won it that year, too.
You've won a few championships with past teams, correct? You no count off the top of your head?
We would have had 3. We would have had 3 right before we came here. What was that? Championship game. It just
Something happened.
players, injuries. This is like all last, moment stuff like it was just happening, and we're calling older guys that ain't played in a while, thinking that and it just
Pull it and make it happen, but it just didn't.
we was winning at one point because I drove up to Florida to go watch the game from North Carolina, and when I got there, we was winning, and they just kind of, I don't want to say we was cheated. We did have a touchdown call back. We did have interception call back. So for some reason, we are the hated guys. Guys hate us because we talk trash.
On the field, mostly.
Yeah, on the field. Maybe a little bit prior to through social media, but it's just just us. It's just fun against us. They get mad, we laugh at it. It's not that serious. We don't take it to like a personal level. Like we don't dig into past history and try to like put it out to people.
But you've been playing for years. It's not like it's not common that stuff like this happens. And you talk to them after the game or say out or whatever. Well, yeah.
Yeah, as long as there's of course there's a line that you can't cross, but as long as that line is not crossed, it's all good. Say what you need to say.
There you go.
Most of the time I talk, but it's not during the game. It'll be like before. It'll be when I get all my talk. Because once the game started, it's action.
Yeah, you got things to do.
Yeah.
You should concentrate your game, whatever.
It'll be more of them talking because they'll be mad because I got a bull rush, man, that it just can't be stopped. And that's what makes me different from most nose guards because I can move, but people get, that's all you're going to do is bull rush. I'm like, well, until you stop it, why would I change
Exactly.
why would I change it? So, if it's wearing you out,
I'm beating you, you're going to hate me.
Exactly. I pull out a move when you least expect it after you get tired of this bull rush.
There's more to you.
Yeah.
But I don't need to show it to you. Yeah, I get it. So give us a little background. You said you're from Galveston, correct?
Yeah, Galveston. I went to high school at Galveston. Ball High, that's the name of the school.
Okay.
Purple and gold.
You played football in high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Middle school. I didn't play. I played 1 year Little League. After that, I was too big.
Okay, I'm not in Texas, even though I was born in Texas, but apparently Texas very, they love their football.
Oh yeah, we breed ball players. We take the youth football extremely serious.
Yes.
They treat that like college and stuff now. It's and it's not just because you want to win a team. Like we got guys that see these kids going to college when they would have probably never happened. They're being fathers to a lot of kids that didn't have them. And putting them around, just good friends.
Right.
Of course, as we get older, you're gonna lose a few to the streets or
It's happened.
whatever.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you get to experience what it's like to be around people that care about you, people that want to see you succeed. Because when I grew up, it was serious, but youth football wasn't that serious. It wasn't like nobody was like, hey, well, let's train every day. We know you're gonna be, this and that guy. I got my first offer in 8th grade. But nobody never was like, hey, let's go train, let's do this. There's nothing. It was just me. I honestly didn't know how to play football for real until college. I didn't know what I was really doing. I just was big, I was fast, and I was strong. But the techniques of it, I didn't know none of that.
Well, not every coach knows in high school and all that knows their position apparently, and
True, but they felt like it wasn't much to teach me when you that big, fast, and
Okay,
strong.
all right.
I was literally like, I used to grab guys from over the alignment sometimes, and make a play like that.
Okay, they just, hey, you do what you do. Okay, I guess.
And I was just, you know, the colleges knew. They was like, well, when I got to college, like leaving out of college, going into like working out with NFL teams.
Mhm.
I was 350 running a 4.89, and that's just
Wow.
yeah, impossible.
Wow.
We ran it 2 times.
Wow. I can't run it.
So just me being that big and fast, schools just was like, well, we can, you know, mold them into what we needed to do.
Yeah, you got something going on.
But yeah, it's just different, you know. But I'm glad to see a lot of. I watched some of the coaches were guys that we would have never thought that was going to change their lifestyle.
Exactly. Explain that to me.
You know, like some of the guys that work with most of the kids, these were like street guys.
Oh, okay.
And then they eventually, you know, started working, you know, gave up that life and then moved up, and whatever they was doing, they all, you know, went from small, tiny apartment to big houses, and that's just from working their way
Yeah.
up and
Yeah.
using that same hustle mindset they was using on the street to bring it to their job. And that's when all of them kind of took over the youth program, and
Wow.
I see those kids like every year getting bigger and bigger, going to middle school, going to high school, going to college. Mike Evans, that's one of them. You know,
Wow.
He's from Galveston. And his story is basically everything I'm saying. If you watch his story they had on TV, it was like the island is a pretty place that's for tourists,
Right.
but at the same time it's a trap. You can get trapped and never leave. I know it, you know, some of the people just not doing it.
All right.
They just now figuring out like it's more to life than Galveston Island. Like they 35 now, just leaving out of the state.
I've never been there. I would say that about Spokane. People sometimes there's more to life.
Yep.
I've always lived in Spokane, but I've traveled and there's stuff outside.
Yeah, you just want to say you experienced something
Yes.
more than just one spot.
Yeah, and never going and doing. I have family, so I'm close to the family, so that's one reason. I years ago I figured out I'd never moved to Seattle for the music scene because of my family.
I try to tell the younger guys like, do it now. Don't wait till you get older. I was like, you can plan a year ahead. You know, go trip at the end of the year, or the beginning of the year. There's not that much. Like, I was like, it builds character. You get to meet so many different people.
There's so much out there, and
And see so much, learn so much. There's so much that this world has to offer that we didn't learn in school.
Oh, there's a lot. Well, I'm older than you. Obviously, shut up, Ryan. There's a lot of stuff I didn't learn, but fortunately, my family and after doing music, I've experienced and met people that I've reconnected with. That's yeah. Some people don't have that opportunity, so we've done it.
Yeah, and I also do music, man.
We just touched on that. We met a week or so ago, and we have to touch more on that. You see more music. It's like it seems like most of our guests have something. I'm just saying.
I've done music for years since a kid. We performed most weekends in high school. I tell people the story all the time. And they was like, "How long you been doing music?" I was like, "Man, I got offered a contract senior year through. I don't know if you ever heard of Rough Riders, DMX. Year of DMX, the group he was with. We did an opening act for Scarface. Can't remember the other rapper name, but the guy came up to us, had a camera. He was like, "Just rap for us, you know, and say your name and number." A week later, they called and was like, "I want to do a group." And it was going to be me, my friend, and my other friend, which was a Jewish kid with braids. And he was just like, "That's going to be your hype man." And I was just like, "Man, my mom probably would shoot me if I was like, hey, I'm not going to college in a couple of weeks. I'm going to try this rap thing." Like, I mean, nowadays it's kind of okay to say it. I think kids got to express themselves more than we could back then. You know, it was more like you would think to even just like, "Man, I want to do rap." I couldn't tell her that ever.
Your mom?
Nah, she would have laughed or cursed me out and be like, "Are you crazy? Might as well move out now." I couldn't tell her that, but now kids can do it and their parents tell them and become their manager. And, you know, I think they saw what it can turn into if you actually like. Well, he brought it up. Maybe he is kind of good, and then you push him, and then boom, now you both rich.
Maybe, but
know,
at least you do.
You
Yeah.
know, just back then, growing up, and he didn't believe in too much.
Well, I think there's a lot more avenues
Definitely.
to get
Oh,
famous
yeah.
now
Just
compared to
social media alone, your phone.
yeah.
You get famous off your phone alone.
Or infamous, but yes.
Deontay Holmes. He's TikTok famous.
I know people that do, but I'm not that.
And he's on the team. He's TikTok
Okay,
famous.
there you go. That's why I sound familiar. Music, I was okay.
I think it's how you said Deontay. It's a little weird. Yeah.
I just did the hard way back and learned the instrument and practiced and played with guys in bands and went on the road and did what little I did. So I had fun. Back to my just all over today.
All right.
So the football thing is from like it's just part of you.
Yeah. I definitely would like to coach no matter what after this, no matter what I'm doing.
You don't have kids. You do have kids. I don't want to. I met somebody, but I don't know if that was. Yeah, was that your girlfriend's? Yeah. So
you had a person I was talking to kids, but no, my kids are in Texas. I got 20
Okay.
girls.
okay. So does that being a father want it help inspire to be the coach and be part? At least that's an avenue you can do after football.
No,
Playing?
I think just growing up in the game and these younger guys that come in and they ask me for advice and how should I handle this, how should I go about that, and we try to teach them that like you don't have to play too hard sometimes. Like you can do less by just studying that guy, his movement, his body language. I can tell if guys about to double team me before they even do it, and that's what kind of make me great at my position. Because you'll see it when the games start. Most guys will kind of be in a knee or in a stance, and I stand up. But I'm always looking because I'm waiting to see them turn around to see if they look at each other.
See what they're doing.
Because usually if the center and the guy there look at each other, meaning they about to come down on me. Or if they talking, trying to read their lips, all of that. If he's getting pumped up, what he might be trying to do, how his stance is, and then I get down kind of like last second thing. And Billy's always like, get down. I'm like, I got it.
You give that information that you've learned to help somebody else younger than if they don't even know.
Yeah, it's like Mike Green. He's going to be amazing to watch as a defensive back. He has his game down to the science. He is a coach. Like, he helps out a lot so much when we get plays that, sometimes the coach don't see what you see on the field.
Right.
And, he's always to come to me and be like, hey, Walt, like, I know what they about to throw the ball. I need you to do this. Linebacker, just do that. And I promise you, and it always works.
Well, that's what coaches do.
Yeah.
I'm not a coach.
And you trust in him, And he does the same with me. If I be like, man, I know they're about to run the ball. I'm just about to come down, and, they're going to try to double me. I'm going to just cut their legs. I do stuff to the offensive line that they want to do to me.
Right.
Because it's not being, you can't be selfish as a nose guard. Because it's not meant for you to make the play. It's just meant for you to disrupt the line. Yeah.
Help it.
Keep the quarterback moving, keep them scared, and keep messing up the center and the guys that can match it. So
You don't
chop
enjoy
out
this at all,
guys
do
just
you,
so the
Walter?
linebacker can make the play.
You don't enjoy that.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I'm going off my cards, and they're basic questions, but you've already kind of answered. But becoming a football player is part of life for you at this point, or when you started, wasn't it? Being where you're at, and
Yeah.
it was somebody else inspired you. Did you watch a player in particular that got you?
Nah, my father and my brother, they played basketball.
Okay.
Yeah, they all hooped. They was like great at it. I played basketball and track and everything else, but that was more of the be with my friends, and I knew we got basketball tournaments all day. You get to get out of school. Track is all day you get to get out of school. So yeah, let's do that. But I think football. Actually, my cousin. I always played outdoor football.
Okay.
And I didn't play like no certain position. I just always had the ball, fullback.
Really?
That's how I started off. And my cousin he moved to town. He was like, "Man, you want to play football, like real football?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess so." And these guys was all older than me, like 2-3 years older than me. But I was big enough, so they played with the birth certificate a little bit and let me play because I couldn't play with the guys my age because I was too big.
Okay.
And taking hits from them guys, and I don't know, it was just something about. Can I curse?
You can't.
It was just something about knocking somebody on their ass and not having to answer, nobody for it.
Okay. I was wondering where you're going with that. It's like I know players that you get to hit somebody and do and have fun doing it.
Yeah. That was the only time I got to really wrestle with my friends and not get in trouble for hurting them. Because I was too big. Usually when they was
know
like
your power.
wrestling, I just let them be, but they would hit me and say like, "Shut up," because they know I knew they was my friends and I wasn't gonna do nothing to them. But in practice, everybody's getting hit. Everybody's getting hit.
But you could get them back, and did you talk trash then, or were you still learning? They had the couple years on you?
I was silent with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was real silent. I was quiet. Guys just tried to pick on me in middle school because I was quiet. But what they say, kind of mess with the quiet people. The ones that's,
You never know what's going to happen, what's going on inside their head.
Yeah, I was just a peaceful person, man.
Peaceful person that's a football player. That's
not people, a peaceful person.
A peaceful.
I actually wasn't a people's person.
Well, peaceful.
I didn't like to be around too many people. Mm-hmm. I didn't like adults.
The dopes.
No, adults.
Adults.
I didn't like them
Those
at all.
bastards.
I don't know why. I liked them, but I didn't like being around too many of them. Like kids, I don't know. I love being around my friends, but like if I was around like a bunch of adults with my family, I was just quiet. Like I'm like, what's always quiet? I think they thought something was wrong with me, but I just I don't know.
What it is.
I don't know. It's just something I didn't really care to speak much around.
Well, your friends are comfortable. You hang out and you talk and BS.
And a lot of us was taught, don't
just respect.
talk when adults talk, get in the grown-ups conversation. Back then you get popped in the mouth for that. So
I was raised military where you don't interrupt and
you stay out of it.
I was fortunate, at least with my great aunts and uncles and grandparents. I looked for the opportunity apparently because I don't remember getting smacked, at least for that. But I talked to them and I was taught to take the clothes off the ladies and always say hi to the gentlemen, and just be respectful
That came, I don't know how that came about because I wasn't taught that. I mean, I wasn't taught anything bad, but
right.
Mom was a little hard, up until the point where she knew like, all right, he'll be all right. But as a younger kid and her being a single mom, I think she just wanted to make sure that I was going to be like a man. She didn't, crying and stuff, that wasn't really acceptable,
We didn't.
You couldn't come in and be like, oh, somebody's picking on me. I did that one time and she took me back outside and made me beat the crap out of the kid in front of us. So you just had to, she just wanted you to be a little bit tougher.
Independent.
Because she knew life was,
sorry. Shit happens.
She wanted me to be able to handle stuff, kind of like I've been going through this weekend. But she just wanted me to be able to handle that and deal with it, and it worked. It made me. Anytime something happened, I always like, I figured it out, and I do.
That's life. Ryan and I. Shit happens to everybody.
Yeah.
What obstacles stood along your way to, like going into college? Were you accepted out of high school because your size? And this, clarify that. You talked about how fast you ran. And, scholarship.
Obstacles.
And where'd you go to school at?
Oklahoma State.
Thank you.
No, I didn't have any obstacles coming out of high school. I took the SAT twice, but that was really about it. Because I was originally going to University of Texas. That was my plan. I'm going to go to Texas. I always told myself that. And then, so crazy story, I was supposed to take my first SAT. Didn't know I was supposed to take it.
No one told you?
Nobody told me.
How dare
My mom didn't tell me. She signed me up to take the SATs. I guess she thought it was just some regular test you go and take and you get a score. So, it's senior year. I've been out, late.
Enjoying your
Very
season or
late,
time?
Because I didn't really have school because I was going to graduate early.
Oh, okay.
So I really didn't have many classes. I had like teacher's aid for teachers that didn't need a teacher's aid.
Yeah, right. Ryan didn't pay much, wasn't in school much even though he's supposed to.
So I just was, I did kind of what I wanted to do. I only had to take Spanish and economics.
Hmm.
So we was out, late, and she woke me. I was like, "Wake up! You gotta take your SATs." I was like, "SATs?" I was like, "All right, I guess so." When I get there, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I literally did half of the test, closed it, and went to sleep. And I knew it was gonna bite me, but I didn't know. I guess I could have just filled in anything, but I just took my chances. I was going like, I was sick or whatever, make up something. But I told him exactly what happened, how it happened, and why I did it. And it was like, oh, well, we're going to take scholarship back. And if you pass it this next time, we'll give it back to you. So they kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I was like, good on y'all now. Since y'all don't believe my story, Oklahoma State and everybody else, believe me. And I was like, well, when you take it again, we'll still be good. And it was just something about Oklahoma State that I liked. I liked when Les Miles was there. Let's put it that way. When he left, I didn't like it too much. But that was my deal. This is my favorite.
I'm not a college guy, so I can't ask more questions on that. I'm lost. I apologize.
Well, Les Miles is one of them coaches that, how can I put it?
I don't know.
If you balling, you balling, man. You want to make sure ain't nothing else getting in the way of that. Yeah, you can look it up. It's a whole scandal on our school.
Oh, I'm sure.
I did interviews and all of that stuff. They tracked us down.
Huh. I will have to do that now.
Yeah.
We have stuff for him.
It was. I forgot what magazine. I think it might be an ESPN magazine.
Wow. Yeah, I apologize. I'm not the college football. My parents were NFL and old school. Joe Namath got me interested, but
Our original team was the Oilers.
that is now the Texans.
Yeah, but when they left, they went to Tennessee, so I became a Cowboy fan. Yeah, I know.
I can tell you quick. Landry, Coach.
Mhm.
Some people don't know who that is, so I just clarify that. That woman you met coming in, that's her last name. There's a connection, by the way. Just saying. So if you're a Cowboy fan, I just like throwing it out there. I got nothing.
Yeah, they the team. Still are the Oilers. Texans would have came back